Nigga, I'm a champion. Pass the ball, cause they ain't stopping shit.
Hey, yo, it's the 9E podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's our first podcast. I got my man Scooby Doo. It's your boy Big Shug. You hear what I'm saying? So, basically, we just gonna get into some generalized talk off the back end. We gonna start it like this. Man, have you heard the Eminem Houdini?
Yeah, I
Nah, man, have you heard the Eminem
have.
Houdini?
I honestly have. No, I honestly have.
These young niggas trying to cancel my boy in Slim Shady mode, because you know he's Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's all because, all right, let's get serious real quick. This all because of they weird ass obsession with these entertainment personalities. Like, I don't know if these kids know, like, these aren't actually these people. Like, that's not their personality traits, any of that.
This is a show that they put on, a literal stunt. So
Yeah, and then you know how I'm feeling. I'm a bit biased with Megan because of the whole Tory situation, because I actually paid attention to that trial, what was said and everything, you know. And if you actually go through that, you'll realize that there wasn't enough evidence to convict Tory, and stories change, which should have let the judge know something important off the back end. So,
stories change nonstop. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
yeah.
at the end of the day, he's still serving a 10-year sentence now?
Man,
It's hefty.
I think it's like 16, 15, 16 years.
Oh, it's heftier.
Yeah, you can't just come to America and shoot a bitch in the foot. You can't
But listen,
come to America and shoot
he
a bitch in
didn't
the
shoot
foot.
her though. And it was evidence proving that he didn't shoot her.
Yeah, but who had the most money?
Yeah, you're right. Whoever got the most money, got the most influential, got the most power, that's who wins. So at the end of the day, you are correct.
Yeah, and it really makes you really makes you key in on why this is the farewell album for Eminem. And you know, that really made me sad. I grew up with Eminem, you know. I'm sorry, mama, and you know what I'm saying. Even Mockingbird and everything like that. Even our editor tends to get emotional when dealing with, you know, a few Eminem songs. But you know, for us to wonder why he's going to end his career, as you all know, I'm sure. I don't know. It really just hits a really peculiar place on the inside. Like, wow, is this what getting older feel like? You watching everything change, and it suck.
He can't do it no more. So you ready to hang up his cape? But
You know,
it's some people that you don't want. You don't want them to hang up the cape. You want them to keep going, to keep, you know what I'm saying, producing music, because bro went for hit for hit for hit, literally.
He has a nostalgia effect.
but yeah, you know,
So-
but at the end of the day, you know, in the black community, as you all know, we try to make our bronze and our copper look like gold. And you know, if you know, you know, and you know, to key in on a lot of actual trauma inside of the black community, and that's what Eminem was, his relevance in the hip hop industry. A lot of people just take that, I just want to kill my mama, like, okay, and then you take it like this. Instead of him saying that, take it to somebody like Kevin Gates. Nobody had a problem when Kevin Gates in the NBA Youngboy feature said he listened to his mama sell, you know, vagina. So at the end of the day, it's like, well, where do the morals lie exactly with this?
They speaking their pain. They speaking what they have been through.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, everybody try to make it a race game. And I don't know if you know about the fucking 98 Eminem tapes. He did date a black girl. They broke up, and he lost his fucking mind dropping those hard R's. But, you know,
I definitely remember when he was white KKK. Like, I remember this man.
But I don't-
he went crazy.
I don't know if people are misunderstanding anger with racism. You know, for Eminem to be racist would be him to have, after that happened, for him to exit hip hop because it's black people's area of dominance and things like that. For him to be truly racist, and you know, as bigoted as the speech was, there were no continuations of this bigoted speak. You know, he was found by Dre. You know, and every time he gets an award, he does not ever not have the time to tell Dr. Dre how much he appreciates him. And things like that is awesome to let the world know, like, no, black is beautiful. You know, I was in an ugly spot and they made this beautiful. And you know, our culture built Eminem. I don't know if a lot of you sillies know that. He's a rapper, meaning if you know other cultures are getting in, you know, 2015, 16 other cultures started joining in the hip hop whole ordeal. You know, you've got to understand
since like 19 something.
Yeah, since the early 2000s, Eminem has been in this game and he's been showing his teeth. So, you know, you got to know that you won't change that. It's like Dave Chappelle. We don't care that you don't like Dave Chappelle. It's just, it's what you know. And speaking of trying to get canceled or coming back from cancel, you got to tell me you've been listening to the baby's freestyles.
Man, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. He going crazy on the freestyles non-stop though. But he
You know,
not like, it's like he not stopping.
You know, I'm not a fan of Sexy Red, but when they turned on that Get It Baby, yo, he had me over here turned up feeling myself, man. If we gonna talk about somebody trying to rap like they free the slaves, man, that boy that had us out them chains quick, you heard me? Hey.
No bullshit.
No, but it's awesome to see, you know, somebody take a heavy, you know, loss like that, especially financially, and not just give up like I'm gonna just find a new ordeal, you know, to venture into. No, this is what I mean by really showing your teeth. That man showed he's got what it takes to be a major significance in the hip hop industry.
You also gotta think about this: when he came back, he ain't come back as the same. He ain't come back as the same person. He came back as a different motherfucker, ready to come
Even
back
when he's
really
speaking, you can tell how much the baby has humbled himself as a man and accepting what he did was wrong. I don't believe what he did was wrong because, you know, you in America you can speak out against whoever you want to, because the minute you tell somebody they can't, that becomes actual fascism.
Yeah, that's a real
The baby
problem.
took self accountability to a different level.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes can't do that. It's like, I know everybody's tapping into it. It's like the Drake and Kendrick Lamar situation. Kendrick Lamar, I don't know if people here know what the reverse words say, but those reverse words say, what you say about me is true. So yeah, I caught that case back in 2013, and you want to know what I've done since then? I've built up not only myself, but my family. And like anybody, people have flaws. You know, me and my significant other do not follow each other on social media, because why?
Messy,
Accountability.
That's not the same person that I sit and I congregate with or anything like that. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. But I do get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, you still got to think about this. So, yes, Kendrick caught that case. Yes, he stood up and did what he did, but he also addressed, like when he got pushed, he pushed back. He addressed it and then brought some more allegations that we still have yet to hear about. I ain't gonna lie to you. So at the end of the day, you still not addressing these allegations. Instead, you just decided to say,
What
you waved the
Kendrick
white
did,
flag.
No, what Kendrick did was more diabolical than that. So what everybody went back and researched and got into and everything like that. Well, I believe that Kendrick's seen the same thing that we're seeing now. The 17-year-old on stage. Should I feel guilty because I don't? When I was 23, I had no interest in saying anything like that to a 17-year-old.
But that's still weird for you to do that.
And then as a 30-year-old man, why are you waiting on women to turn 18 so you can, you know, you can only assume that it's some kind of line of penetration or things like that? Because why are you so eager for these young women to turn 17? And I've never seen Drake under a young man's post like, hey man, glad you made it. You know, 18 years you survived or anything of the sort. So it actually makes you take a look, you know. But you know, this rap battle made me a fan of Kendrick Lamar. I came into this biased. Really? Of course. Well, almost biased. You know, I dislike Drake because of the XXX Tentacon thing. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's one of those more low berry kind of ordeals that people just don't want to speak about, even though everything is right there. You know, you've got people speaking out against this. Again, I'm gonna say, you know, after going through it, I'm pretty sure this is what the lines. His dad is a killer. He wanna be too. They must have forgot the shit that they done. Dementia must run in your family, but let it get shaky. I'll park your son, which was actually a play on Parkinson's but I believe that's what that was symbolic to. And then when the ghostwriter Daylight comes out, he makes a track talking about, you know, the track with XXX Tentacon and Drake having something to do with. So, you know, that's that. But, you know, back to the baby and the comeback. And speaking of comebacks, Assassin's Creed, the Black Samurai.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know, there's been a lot of controversy behind, I guess, people assuming Yasuki was a fictional character. Now, when you go deep enough, you'll learn that the Thai tribe was there long before the Asiatic clan. They were one of the smallest tribes of us. That entire culture is built upon the Thai tribe and various rituals and traditions that they held by, including the feasting of seafood. So, but
They feel like he's a fictional character and he's made up and everything.
or a lot of people are saying he's a retainer when, you know, when things line up like this and everybody wants to say, oh, black people feel like they're, well, it sounded like he's the Thai tribe was black, and then, well, it sounded like Yasuki was part of the Thai tribe, and he was an actual samurai, and not just a samurai, one of the first.
If it looked like a duck, it quack like a duck. It's a motherfucking duck.
You know, and I'd only assume others would understand the same thing, but me personally, I can't wait to experience the story. It's supposed to have one of the largest open worlds and maps of the Assassin's Creed series, so I'm incredibly excited about that. But, you know, the whole racial controversy really makes me just want to avoid it all entirely.
Well, they gotta stop with the whole racial controversy thing, because at the end of the day, if you're getting pure facts and pure lore about a specific tribe, just because they black, you don't want them in. That's foul as shit. Because
But I don't, you know, I look at it like this, you know, whether somebody likes or dislikes something, it shouldn't have as much pull as it has. I just feel like, you know, in my world, I feel like this: if these are, you know, white children crying out to these, you know, white gaming developers, I feel like they should stick to the premise that they had already been moving along and not pander to me or my people. Honestly, we could care less what color the protagonist was. And this is more of a out of black issue, because we're sitting here defending it, and the entire time it's like, you know, I remember a time where, you know, the racial thing was only in Call of Duty, and now it seems to just be fluctuating and migrating everywhere. So, you know, that's been a thing too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me, you remember from when we was younger, you being in the Call of Duty lounge. It first started with Xbox, then it migrated to Sony, and then it just blew up from there. And it's like, damn, why I gotta be all that? Because I just kicked your ass, but you mad now. So
But
you know
this is
what,
a
now
form
I'm gonna
of, this is
continue
just
doing
another form of character in all opinion. And speaking of character, oh my goodness, these two fucking crazy goofballs, Orlando Brown, Jaguar Wright. I believe one of them is telling the truth, and the other one is a liar, using the other one's character to get further. One of them is lying. Both cannot be telling the truth. If both were telling the truth, why would they dislike each other?
it. Okay, you got a point there, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Who is Jaguar? Because I know who Orlando Brown is.
She has connections with Diddy and that whole thing at Bad
Oh
Boys.
shit! Okay, so it go deeper into the
Yeah,
whole
so she's
thing.
been speaking a lot about like the Diddy parties and different vulnerable positions she's been put in. And
We
other
all
people
know
have been
about the
put-
Diddy parties and what happened in them, for real, for real.
But
So-
she was talking about this long before this whole thing just occurred. Is the problem?
Oh.
Yeah, like she starts talking about this, and then this raid happens, and so it's like, I think Orlando Brown is a meth head who's utilizing another person's real story to further himself because of the negative narrative that is against him. And I think he's just a drug addict, honestly.
I mean, he kind of looked like it though. Like on the serious note, he looked like it.
So
This man been having nothing but outbursts ever since. Well, ever since he first came back to the scene after That's So Raven. We ain't seen this nigga in nothing else. And then you come back on the scene like wilding.
just I mean, losing his entire mind.
Like
you know,
somebody told you, like, hey, I'll give you $10 million. You go out there and show your ass.
speaking, Lenny, I gotta I gotta keep this flowing because we on such a good vibe right now. So, speaking of fucking up in characters, how you feeling about this whole Joe Biden situation? 3 years in office,
Joe Biden
pretending like this is the first executive order he can send through. The country's been in fucking shambles.
This is listen. Oh,
So,
but no, for real though, this country has been in shambles for the longest. It's crazy to say this, and it's not really crazy to say this, but it's crazy to say this. We was better off with Trump.
hey, yo, don't bring Uncle T in this.
Hey, listen.
I've got small businesses. I understand foreign policy, and I like the difference between a political asshole and a businessman asshole.
Cause how you come in here and just be like, okay, so I touch this one thing and everything is destroyed. Like,
Because he
oh,
talks
shit.
a lot about running for vengeance, but the same man who keeps telling you you're not black if you don't vote for President Biden and all of that bullshit is the same man in 1994 who said he wouldn't stop until the federal assistance programs that help black people, SNAPS program,
With
WIC, fucking rent assistance, if it's
insurance, that's where you got the medical insurance and all of that
all
stuff.
of it. And he said he wouldn't stop until all of this was
Destroyed.
yes, sir. So I never trusted Joe Biden ever. I'm not sure why. Right now it just seems like every black person wants to be this Democratic victim because they keep getting promised free money, and it's a thing of take your lazy ass to work. Like, I'm so tired of the whole I'm black, I'm a victim, I'm oppressed bullshit. When I got into business, I'm a fucking mercenary. Like, so.
At the end of the day, man, long as you you got some type of drive to yourself, you gonna get up out the bed every day. You gonna get up and go get your money. You gonna get up and do what you want to do, whether that's provide for your family. We all got kids. We all got fucking kids. So we all trying to sit here and provide for our kids. And if you don't have kids, you have somebody you care for. You're trying to provide for who you care for. So you can't sit here and be lazy. Like, oh, this man's gonna give me $25,000 out the goddamn sky. No, you're not. That man is gonna give you $25 and pat you on the head for shutting the fuck up.
And I mean, at this point, I mean, it seems like everybody's got some kind of excuse. Everybody's got some kind of excuse. Everybody's got some kind of excuse. Like, man, listen, if you aren't where you want to be, then it's your fault. Keep pushing. I mean, like I say,
That's that big word that ain't nobody trying to do, and that's self-accountability.
Yeah, but like I was saying, we work in mercenary work, domestic, international, and doing our whole shaboom shebang. So, where we come from. We come from a place that's been number 7 on a homicide list since like 2001. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we really made something of ourselves. I mean, to the point where we feel comfortable enough to set up equipment and station ourselves to be able to make podcasts and really express ourselves in our opinion, and ask for others to join and express themselves and their opinions and everything like that. So I just cannot keep doing it with the whole, well, Democrat, you're black. Like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Small business, I need lenders and loans, and I need forgivable loans. I'm not going to school.
See, now here's where we look
like it's deeper. But listen, it's deeper than, like, we could go to the French Legionnaires. We can do that. We can go to Wagner Group. We could do that. But do you know how much growth it'll take to build our own? To really build some wealth, and then it's not like we're moving out of our community and building wealth. we're building wealth within the middle of our community, and I feel like if more people stood up and did the same thing, because everybody talks this black dollars this, black dollars that. Oh my goodness, we spend this, we spend that, and I promise you, most of my people is just talk. Not all. I promise, not all, but most of my people is just talk. Because we're the other people that's getting this money together to buy acres and buy land and really, build the barracks and and you really get it together. There are none.
Yeah, I would say there's not a lot of people out here.
In the very tiny few of us there are, we're so fucking spread out that it's hard to communicate. We have to do things like open ourselves here to even negative comments and online abuse and things like that in order to even connect with those who resonate in the same mental frequency we do. And this is why I dislike our political system here in the United States, because it's a game of who's the most popular. It isn't a game of actually making change or things of that nature. It's a whole popularity game. So when you get somebody like Trump who has a far superior plan with everything, and it's like we're watching an immigration surge and then we just clown Trump for trying to build a wall to prevent exactly what he said was coming. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Let's exhale half the fucking country then. You want to be a Democrat, man? Let's build a wall in the fucking middle of the country and let you fucking idiots go over there and do that shit. Be victims. Have your community surged in crimes because they letting rapists and murderers back out the fucking, let's be real. I have no problem with drug dealers because there wouldn't be drug dealers if there weren't people who wanted drugs. So this seems like supply and demand like it is the pharmaceutical company. I am not a drug dealer, nor do I have any connections to drug dealers, by the way. But just saying, this is supposed to be America. And it's starting to look less and less like freedom and more like a fascist totalitarian regime.
But that's what, if you think about it, in the past, that's what they always wanted it to be. But nobody could ever actually do it.
Man.
They wanted to be, somebody always wanted it to be a dictatorship.
It's always been a dictatorship. If you really look at this, it's always really been like that, because then we've got to talk about things like DARPA and the deep state and we're not, but you get what I'm saying. So it makes it incredibly complicated to even have a conversation with some, because they're so ass in behind. Well, the government, I'm sure the government, the goal is to get you to not know how to depend on yourself, because then you're going to run a big daddy government
Every time.
So it's like this. And now people are like, so we're not supposed to have police and emergency. We make the police an emergency, and I don't mean we as black people. I mean we the people. We the people.
This is why they give classes out, so you know how to do CPR, so you know how to do basic medical
And I
shit.
offer tactical close quarter battle training all day, every day, to civilians and anybody interested in going to J-Rock or ROC. I offer these kind of trainings to prep people for what's coming. So I don't get it. It's a dependency thing.
Why you want to get up and work and you've already have everything?
But you can get up and go to work. What if you invested and we got this land, right? Mm-hmm. And we actually invested and we actually built, right? And we use that money we're making and we keep on building and keep on putting this money into our community. And I mean really into our community building. Because as we build, we can teach. See, this fall, the line, it'll fall in line as it continue to go. As we build, we're teaching. So now this young generation know how to build. Those of us who want to protect, we've got children over there listening. They're watching. They're understanding.
So you talking about building a foundation,
a literal foundation, and not just the black bullshit talk that we do. Oh, we need to invest money into the community. Planless. Sun Tzu always said, a dumb man runs into war, a smart man plans.
Smart man does plan for every step of the way.
And yes, and man, it's literally been a war on you since the Tulsa massacre. Do you know there are two ways to start war? One is through a letter of marque. The other is through covert operation. I'd say using news helicopters to bomb a community was a covert operation. Wouldn't you agree?
That is. I would definitely agree that it is a covert operation because how? Who else can do that?
To our wealthiest neighborhoods, we had black banks, and
I know.
its anniversary was just yesterday, or 2 days ago, I believe.
And everything was destroyed. You can't forget about the black villages that got flooded.
But I mean, it's exactly why, if you watch Russian state TV, Putin has been very sincere in what he says to the civilians of the West. If this does end the way that it's looking like it's gonna end, I apologize. It was never for you. Dude's goal is not to attack civilians. This is America bullshit propaganda again. Like the communists. When the communists coming? Man, we've been waiting on those communists for what, 70 years now? 74 years? 1960s?
What was I saying? Oh.
Mm. Mm. So I'm just like, 64 years. I'm just like,
Yeah, between 64 and 70. That's a lot of math trying to be doing right now.
but you got to negate that feeling of this and this and that. I'm not saying forget, but you got to forgive if you want to accomplish anything. Can't walk around with anger doing everything. That's impossible. We would do nothing but copy the same bridge that was built on this side that we're standing atop of and watching it slowly collapse.
But see, that's because everybody forgets the never forget part. Always forgive, never forget. Tend to forget a lot of times what happens because now you're looking at all of the shit that's ahead of you.
And see, this is why I try to tell a lot of people, like, I'm not a bigot. When I talk about things like racism and things like that, I accept people who are racist. You know why? Because there's a difference between racism and bigotry. Bigotry is the whole big lip, black people eat watermelon, love grape soda. That's bigotry. Racism is, listen, man, I'd rather just be around my people,
So that's stereotypes you're looking at.
No, it's a stereotype. Stereotype is bigotry. The stereotypes is bigotry. Asians can't drive. White people can't jump. Black people can't swim.
And in fact, there's a couple I know I can swim, but it's a couple black people who can swim.
It's a stereotype. It don't even matter. Like, it's bullshit based on some other bullshit. Like, so, but it's certain people, if you say, I just like to stay around my kind, I'm more comfortable, I'm less, there's less anxiety running, and that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't find nothing wrong with that. To force somebody to be around me is man. To force somebody to have to like another person, yeah, that's when this reaches that line of fascism. Like, I'm all right.
Borderline insanity.
Yeah, that whole LGBT thing, like, that shit was fascism. People were getting canceled because they didn't agree with somebody else's narrative about life. When did we ever? This is America.
No, you just did what you did was what you did, and that's what it was.
So
You couldn't be mad because somebody didn't accept what you was doing.
I mean, projections and this went from 2050 to 2037 to 2025. They are projecting that by next year we will have no worth as a people, like net worth zero. It's time to go. And I don't mean leave America. I mean it's time to do our own thing. Like, do you know what that means? Like, you know what? I won't even describe it. I will let people see. I like, life is the best teacher for folks. So if you understand what I'm saying and you understand, like, yeah, it's time to get about our own business. Like, to tell me I'll be worth zero means that certain lines and things are about to be set to make sure that my net worth stays zero. Like, yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, so I guess we can wrap it up right there. You know, we had the sounds for the soundboard and everything, but conversation got so intense that, you know, we just kind of just went and went and went. Hold on one second. We still got to address one thing, you know. Obviously, you see us. We love to drink Corona Extra, but before we talk about that, we want to make sure that everybody understands that we have no business getting behind the wheel of a car and driving after we've been drinking beers. If we've been drinking hard liquor, after we've been smoking weed, we have no business behind the steering wheel. Like, no business. Call it chill where you at, call a Uber. Like, it's 1,000 different ways to not hurt somebody who did absolutely nothing to you. But other than that, I just want to say good night.
Nigga, I'm a champion. Pass the ball 'cause they ain't stopping shit.